Welcome to this week's Acca podcast, sponsored by Sky Bet Acca Freeze. Tom, Jake and Jimmy with you to run through the schedule. Coming up on this episode then, it is of course the final day of the EFL season, so we'll be looking across the three divisions to build our accumulator with the aim of following up on last week's success. But guess what? With the varying kickoff times, we've got not one, but two accumulators to get involved in. Please, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, really important to do so. We've got a lot of playoff content coming up as well. Make sure you subscribe to ensure that you don't miss any of those episodes. And remember to keep it fun. Never bet more you can afford. This podcast is 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly. It is, of course, the final day of the EFL season, which we will discuss in detail very shortly. Who wants to take the bragging, aren't we great sort of vibe for this week? Because
it's got to be me or you, because he wasn't here, was he?
Oh, yeah, useless. Last week's Acca, Jake, talk us through it then. It was 17-2, correct?
Yeah.
And I want you to tell us who won. And also the thing, was it you that told us in the office about the percentage of back-to-back teams or something that we went with? And
yeah.
They are not usually very successful.
That's right, and I'm glad you put me on the spot because I don't have the notes in front of me.
Brilliant. Yes.
But yeah, like last. Oh, it's not that one. No, it's this one. Acca Tracker. That's what I'm looking for.
Well, somebody's hasn't been updating it, so.
Yeah, they have. Look, updated,
mate. Yeah. I did it.
Did it on Saturday. I've done to do it on Saturday. Yeah, we had Blackburn, Crawley, Stockport, Chesterfield, but it wasn't as smooth sailing as it may sound. Was like Stockport went 2-0 down.
Yes, what the hell was all that about?
I don't know. And there was a few comments being like, "Oh, Stockport have fucked it already," and all this kind of stuff. No, they didn't. They came back just as we knew they would. Chesterfield comfortable over Morecambe. Crawley dominate against Northampton, and Blackburn had to come from behind as well to beat Watford, who actually managed to keep 11 men on the pitch. Made it competitive. But yeah, in the end, it was one of those where after 85 minutes, it was like, just see it out, lads. Back-to-back winners as well, which after the Easter Monday 8-1, so finishing the season pretty hot.
What were those comments?
Hot,
Jimmy?
Yeah, Sean Dennis got in touch to say, what has happened to Stockport? It's in the bag if they can find 3 goals, and they did, didn't they?
They did.
Wallop. Tribe of Gad, but where are the haters now? I could get comfortable with this winning luck. Thanks again, team. I didn't read this one all the way through. Thanks again, team. You even did it without Jimmy.
Yeah, okay. That's the one I wanted to bring up. What does that mean? What the hell does that mean?
Does that mean that he thinks that you're the star player in this team? Is that what he's suggesting?
Resting him ahead of the playoffs. That's what we're doing.
No, but I was excited to see a lot of people in the comments added teams to success. Colin Walker, well done, lads, very consistent. I did 6 early kickoffs: Luton, Burnley, Orient, Reading, Donny and Port Vale. £5 Acca, he got over 600 pack. 600.
Yeah, some of the odds in those early kickoffs were mad. Burnley were like evens. Leighton Orient drifted to a point where they were pushing 5-2 before kickoff. They were the outsiders in that one. Basically, a lot of those games, it was like, I think Reading as well were pushing 6-4-ish.
You put them up in your column, didn't you, all those 3?
Yeah, which is only the reason why I know the price off the top of my head. But some of those early kickoffs as well. So I think there was enough games as well to kind of build an Acca. So it's great to see that people did so successfully.
Yeah, Charlie Sharver, he added York. They won. Somebody else added Burton and Barnet, 16-1. They won.
Who was the other team that we had? We had Burton and then
Carlisle
in the boost.
So we waffled on for so long last week that Joe wanted to include Carlisle to beat Cheltenham, was it?
Yeah,
the draw.
I think they got chinned last minute, wasn't it?
They were 1-0 up for a while.
So their relegation was confirmed ahead of final day. So that was the other one, and obviously that was the only one that let that down, because Burton, which, I mean, absolutely remarkable, this great escape that they have done there. I think they were 11 points adrift in mid-January time. Gary Bowyer has somehow kept them up.
Basically spare as well.
Yeah, basically confirmed it last weekend. Did mathematically confirm it with a point in the week. So absolutely remarkable for them.
I'm furious with that draw against Wigan.
Oh,
I was going to do, because what would they have needed? I was going to do Burton to lose 8-0 and Crawley to win 8-0.
Oh, yeah.
Do my column. Idiots.
Never mind. Well, you could do the, and we'll talk about, obviously, but there's a title race in the Championship that needs a goal swing like that. Just do that one instead.
Can I?
Yeah. There you go. Plymouth for a massive price. Take them to win 8-0. Anything else we want to discuss, actually, before we get into the Acca? Doesn't even have to be about the Acca, just football in general. Did anyone watch the Champions League last
Lamine
night?
Yamal's pretty good, isn't he?
That was incredible.
He's not a bad footballer.
Joe tried to wind Jimmy up in the office that he went, oh, that tip of yours last night went well, didn't it? It won. And he had it in his head that you tipped under goals or something. And it was,
Well, did.
so that's why he wasn't allowed on today.
Yeah. I mean, he was half right because you put no goals, no cards up, and that ended after 32 seconds. So
Second quickest loser, you told me, because
Yes.
I tipped no goals in the FA Cup final last year. 8 seconds. That
Oh, was that Gundogan
Gundogan,
smacking it in?
Yeah.
years ago.
yeah.
Yeah. I enjoy your tweets though because you're very like
It's betting.
sort of flat.
It just happens.
He was 450 to 1 for a reason.
Yeah, but I hate doing them bets. I usually don't watch the game. I'll go out with a dog or something or listen to it on the radio. It's just too uncomfortable to watch. But everything got done, so I sat down with a crisp beer. I was like, right, let's keep it tight. First 5 minutes, and then it's just going to get tighter and tighter, and we'll be laughing. And then I can start planning what am I going to do with the 10 grand that I've just, however much I'm on. However much I win, we'll probably go Mexico, buy a boat, speedboat or something.
So you're going to get it for that. But yeah, okay.
32 seconds to Ram does that.
Hell of a finish.
I was in the hop in Leeds, which meant that they had the TV on, but the sound off, which I'd highly recommend. No, not
Yeah, but what Rio Ferdinand.
Rio Ferdinand's and main character syndrome.
Yeah.
Tosser is on, and he ruins the coverage every single time. It's bliss to watch a game without them going, oh, it's about me, it's about me, oh, it's about me, everyone. Stop watching the game. Everyone, it's about me. It's all about me, Rio Ferdinand.
It's Darren Fletcher.
Fletcher.
About 5 minutes into the game, always goes, Rio Ferdinand's made his way up to the commentary box, and you're thinking, fuck's sake, someone just grab him on his way around, keep him away.
Best is
His highlight.
Send him pitch side after the game. Rio's going to go down to pitch side now. Yes! Get in. We can enjoy the last few seconds. Come on.
Yeah, his highlight was like, I can't believe Rafinha was allowed to leave the Premier League as though he was gone to play for Braga or somebody.
Yes.
He's playing for Barcelona, one of the biggest clubs in the world.
Why did he leave a team who survived relegation on the final day to go to, where's he now? Barcelona, if you've heard of them.
And he's the Ballon d'Or favourite as well.
Yeah, it's a terrible move all round for everyone, isn't it? That hasn't worked out. I don't know, what else has happened? Have you been following the non-league playoffs?
A little bit.
Bits, yeah.
This is...
Some big job.
There's been some just drama across
It started
the board.
with the Dorking one, didn't it?
The Dorking one, yes. Where...
Dorking were 3-1 up, and was it Boreham Wood they were playing?
Yeah.
Boreham Wood's defender scored 2 own goals to put Dorking 3-1 up, and then scored a winner in the 95th minute or something.
Should he get the match ball?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a hat trick, isn't it?
Yeah,
Sorts.
Imagine being on Dorking lol. 3-1 up, 10 minutes.
Oh, yes.
But if you do it on Bet365 or on the 2-up tool on many bookmakers, then you're laughing.
No, I was on them to win the playoffs.
Oh, right, is that why you said that? I apologise.
What?
They might have paid out on them to win if they went to go on with Totten.
Totten, that's who I'm looking for. Yeah, if you've not seen this, is absolutely remarkable. I think this was on Wednesday night, was it? Charlie Austin plays for all the teams, which I wasn't aware of.
The one that's finished 3-3 with 5 goals.
Yeah, so Dorchester were 2-0 up at half-time. Was so much so they were 2-0 up in the 90th minute. In the 11th minute of added time, Totten went 3-2 up, and then in the 14th minute of added time, Dorchester scored an equaliser. So you had 4 goals in added time, of which...
That's a lot of added time.
Not sure what happened.
There must have been some serious celebrating going on after these goals, to add that much time on afterwards.
And then 119th minute, the penultimate minute of extra time, Charlie Austin, who remembers Charlie Austin, scored the winner for Totten.
And then you were talking about the Guiseley one as well.
Guiseley, drama in that one. Stockton beat Guiseley in the NPL playoffs, which... pre-season, I don't know if I mentioned this before, backed Guiseley at 50-1 to win the league because I watched them in one pre-season game against Bradford and went, wow, these lads can play.
But they signed some serious North talent, National League North talent. They were going for it.
And then, they were in the league with Macclesfield, so it was always going to be tough and work and stuff like that. Yeah, and they were in with some good teams. All they had to do was win on final day. They'd have a home playoff. Drew on final day. Go to Stockton Town. They've lost 1-0 to Stockton Town. Oh no, we're through. Hang on. Stockton put a club statement out to say that they're in communication with the FA regarding a disciplinary matter, and it turns out that they may have fielded an ineligible player, I believe, based on the red card suspension rule in non-league not applying to the playoffs. Is it the 5-day rule, is it, I think?
Producer Dom were telling me about it this morning, and the hilarious thing is they saw him warming up, and they're like nudging each other. And they're like, wait, just
kick a ball, let me kick a ball.
And he kicked the ball, and they were like that, straight on the phone to whoever it is, the FA. Yep.
999.
Report a crime.
Ring the police. Hello, we've got one.
Go in jail.
Stockton said they did put a thing out after the game going, despite the rumours regarding club captain Adam Nicholson's suspension, this is the information the club has, stating the suspension does not start until the 3rd of May as expected. It's obviously an automated thing, isn't it? Which, and it says, starts Saturday, 3rd of May, blah, blah, fine, so it doesn't kick in until this weekend. Oh, right, okay. And then the next day they went, actually, they were in communication. They say they're confident that they've acted correctly and in full compliance, but there is a little bit of drama in the Northern Premier.
Who does that fall on? Because you know what it's like in non-league. It's all outside the paid footballing management staff. Even some of the coaches aren't paid. Who does that fall on?
It will be like
a voluntary secretary.
It will be like a volunteer who's done it and
get bollocked.
I think
who does it fall on?
It's got to be if it's someone. The likelihood is they're volunteer, and unfortunately, this does happen. And to be fair, if it does happen as it says, they've gone on a portal. The portal has automatically said it starts at this date. It's not on them who have taken time out of their own lives to do this to then go.
Horrible.
I need to study the entire rule book here to see if this is the case. I have a checklist of every game. Check suspension. Okay, we have a suspension. It says Saturday, 3rd of May. Fine, doesn't matter. It'll be fine. I think we'll just miss him for the final if we get there, sort of thing. But actually, it doesn't. And we're not.
It sounds like it's a different protocol when you get into the playoffs from what you're saying compared to the league. So
you've got all sorts.
Unless you are in the know or you've experienced this before, you're not going to know.
Southern League Prem Central last night. Telford beat Halesowen, but do you see? I think there are about 4,000 people there. Halesowen had the entire stand behind the goal.
Right.
Telford probably have arguably the best ground outside of the top 5 divisions. I think they can get about 6,500 or something in there. So
big old
huge turnouts across the board on the National League, which buys into my theory that that brilliant striker that I don't know if you told about this Telford striker that they have, who scored about 500 or whatever. He scored the winner naturally. But particularly this time of season. But I think we are getting to a point where more and more people are going to be enjoying and watching non-league football, and I think the playoffs have shown this with the attendances.
Do you not appreciate the fact that
Cray Valley Papers lost last night? Paper Mill, remember them from the FA Cup?
But when you get to National League, it's single leg knockout for the playoff.
Yeah.
I think that's so good.
Yeah,
it does mean that home you get home field advantage.
It's an incentive, and it's also the lack of pissing about. Let's get this done. Come on, right? We've all got stuff to do. We don't necessarily have pitches to and stuff like that. And it is literally like season finishes on Saturday. These playoffs are on Tuesday. You're off. See you later. You go in there. You'll obviously roughly know who you're going to play, but do like that. And then the finals bank holiday Monday. As well, a lot of them across the board are bank holiday Monday, which I think is really good rather than having on Saturday.
League day, isn't it?
Yeah, no clashes with Premier League games. Put it on the Monday and get people along to it, and hopefully that they will. Particularly in those, obviously if you're hosting it and you're at a loose end, check it out. See if you've got a team in a player final, because a good chance is you might well do down the road.
Yeah, and you rarely ever. Only one that springs to mind in the Championship, Huddersfield going up without scoring a goal in 90 minutes.
Huddersfield, Sheffield Wednesday scored an own goal, I believe, in their playoff. And then they won 2 shootouts.
Draw pen.
Yeah, it's Reading in the final.
But it's very rare that can happen. The way it's staggered in non-league, you can just do a job for 2 hours, nick it on pens. You only need to do it 3 times.
Yeah, there you go. And also as well, if you want entertainment, right, last night, Southern League Premier Central, Telford 3, Halesowen 2. Kettering Harborough was 1-0, but that was on penalties. So you got a penalty shootout there. Go to the Southern League Premier South. Totton, the game we discussed, was 4-3 against Dorchester. Gloucester beat Walton and Hersham 3-2. In the Isthmian League, Dover beat Billericay 2-1 after extra time, so you got extra time drama there. And the Cray Valley Paper Mill game that we said there, 4-3 for Dartford as well. Get yourself to one of these non-league playoffs. You're going to get yourself some drama.
It's brilliant.
On to this week, then. Should we start building our...
let's just keep talking about...
Actually, let's just... it's so much better than actual league
Way
football.
better.
It's so much better.
In all seriousness, it is way better.
So good, isn't it?
So good.
We were actually really annoyed that Guiseley didn't get a home playoff because we had already provisionally planned the Tuesday night trip up to Guiseley with excitement. Yes, finally we could get back to go up there.
They're never going to get a home one,
Yeah.
are they?
They'll be playing Worksop if they do get through on a technicality, won't they?
It
At Worksop.
works.
It's neck upwards.
It's not far, yeah.
Tell you what, direct train from Leeds,
Is it?
Northern Line. Woo, the slow train to Nottingham. That'll stop at Worksop.
It's a decent little stadium.
Few tinnies.
I've never been Worksop.
I used to work the Handsworth Paramore. They share a ground shared with Worksop.
Oh,
Years.
I played there actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. FAU Summit.
Did you play for?
We lost.
Who did you play for?
It was Handsworth.
You played for Handsworth, yeah.
Good ground.
Orange and black stripes.
And best thing about that game, while balls kept going over the main stand, one of them got wedged under our car. So
come out with the
Oinks.
got a match ball.
Later.
we're going out the cup, but we got your ball, boys.
Score a hat trick.
That is the real quiz.
Park your car in the right spot.
That's the real quiz. This week then.
Yeah.
Let's
How
talk.
do you want to tackle it?
I was going to say this. So we've got, I said at the start, 2 in the Prem, and it's Everton Ipswich, Leicester Southampton. Does anyone desperately want to talk about these games?
I mean, Everton at 1-2 were interesting, but they have short. They were 8-13, so they're a bit bigger. Yesterday they've shortened 1-2. Ipswich shackles off. Everton have not won for a while, so I probably would leave that alone and just.
Leicester Southampton, any gamble on? Who wants to guess who wins this?
No, nobody. I think they both lose somehow.
Southampton, I'll just take because they're above 2-1 and they're both terrible.
I really want them to go longer without beating Derby's points tally. I'd love it if they don't get anything from this.
One of my
Love it if they didn't beat them.
I really would.
One of my mates set up a prediction game for how many points Derby will get, and he set this up months ago. You know when it was Southampton. Will they beat Derby's record? I had 14, so I only need one more win, and I've nailed it. And that's why this is the game I need them to win. I needed a draw somewhere. They got it at West Ham, and I need a win from somewhere. So if they wouldn't mind doing it against Leicester and then just losing out for the rest of the season, I'd greatly appreciate it.
It helps your case that Leicester haven't scored for about a million years at home. So.
Southampton can score, can't defend. Here we go. It's happening. We've got those 2 games at 3.
Yeah, from the Prem off.
League 1 and League 2 are together at 3 o'clock. They're all televised, I believe, on the Sky Sports Plus thing.
Yes.
This weekend. You can watch them all with it being final day. There are a few who obviously get the main event treatment. I can't remember who they have done. Anyway, you can watch them all. And at 12:30, there's Championship as well. They've put that earlier, of which, unsurprisingly, Coventry-Middlesbrough is the main event game. You
Yeah.
can watch them all on TV.
I think the feature game in League One is Huddersfield Leighton Orient.
It is Huddersfield Leighton Orient, actually, because I thought, why not put like Bradford Fleetwood or something, or why not put a potential promotion
Yeah, don't make
home team on that you can watch that.
idiots. You've got the best division for drama. Final day, we're going to ignore it.
Yeah, that's definitely get watching there because there's a few games that obviously we will discuss shortly. Do we want to talk Championship 12:30?
There's a couple of teams.
I wouldn't do a cross Acca, but I'm.
You think
I have a
3
few.
PM?
Yeah, I would. I'd just say you've got more games to go at.
I've
haven't
got
you?
loads to shoot
3
at.
p.m. But then equally in the Championship, I had 5 written down to make a 12:30 sort of Acca. Maybe we build 2. Maybe instead of the long one, we can have a
Love it.
12:30 and a 3 p.m. that you can get involved in
I really like that.
this week. Let's talk Championship then. Permutations are there are 2 playoff spots up for grabs. The title is to be decided. There is 1 relegation spot. Realistically, Plymouth are obviously the goal difference unfortunately has done then. It was just a little bit too late. If the managerial change maybe happened a couple of weeks before, they might have got an extra couple of points that was required. That is the state of play. Where do we want to go? Who do we want to talk about first?
I think my favourite bet involves none of the permutations.
Okay.
It's a game with not a lot on the line. Swansea at home to Oxford. 7-10 for Swansea. They're finishing red hot.
Just look at his face.
Not a big fan. Well, Oxford have got nothing to play for. Like they're safe. They're going to be, probably a little bit of party celebrations. And Swansea, they lost to Millwall last time out away from home at the Den. Millwall have won 5 or 6 in a row, but before that they'd won 5 straight, and they'd looked really good under their interim caretaker manager.
Permanent.
He's now permanent manager.
Alan Sheen got given the job last night. Yeah, yesterday they confirmed him to getting it.
Yeah, and
As you're about to say, they're full.
Yeah, they've been excellent. Won 5 of the last 6 at home. The only defeat in that time came against Burnley, so they're beating everybody apart from promoted sides. And like I said, Oxford's got nothing to play for. Swansea. I just think that Swansea are showing that they have got the potential to be potential playoff contenders next season if they carry on in the same level of process, because the underlying process has taken a massive upturn. And if that is the case and they continue playing the same way here, in admittedly a game that doesn't mean a lot, I think 7 to 10 is a big price.
They are one of those trap teams like Stoke, aren't they?
No,
you think? No, I mean in terms of like next season they could be good.
No, trap
finish 14th.
There's no more trap teams anymore. Have you not heard?
Oh my!
Preston are going down.
Oh my
Bristol
God!
City are going up.
What an absolute! Someone tweeted, didn't they, saying what happens to the championship?
Oh no!
What happens to the championship if Bristol City go up and Preston go down? But it's going to be, to use a wrestling terminology, when Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels beat Ric Flair, and it's that dramatic thing that these two have been just like that in the championship, haven't they? Just lovingly in mid-table together. And if Bristol City have to inflict the final sweet chin music on Preston to relegate them, that's going to be heartbreaking for championship fans everywhere, that not only could they be separated, but one turns the knife on the other. And it stabs them in the back for their own gain in that one. But
I can imagine Bristol City weeping as they do plunge the knife into Preston's back.
Yeah, as the whistle goes and they're going, all the tears are on the pitch. You know, that's how happy they are for the playoffs. And it turns out it's not about the playoffs. It's about, we're so sorry that we know results elsewhere aren't going your way. And we're sorry we had to do this, but it's for our own good. Although, Jimmy, I'm sure you would love a Preston relegation.
I'd be able to buy a speedboat then.
You'd be able to get a speedboat, yeah. Just reading a note laptop. What's going on here?
I was just, because Gab tweeted the other day, there's a scenario where Coventry can go up and Preston to be relegated. Preston can be relegated, and Preston have lost less games than Coventry.
Yes, I did see this actually.
Yeah, I was just trying to work out if it's still true.
A lot of draws have screwed over Preston, haven't they?
Yeah, just a bit.
They would have to lose this weekend, wouldn't they? To go down. So that would put them on 17. Coventry are on 17.
Again, yeah, it will be.
So it'd be the same.
Insane.
Which is still crazy over a full season. Team that gets in the playoffs loses the same amount as a team that goes down.
I did have a look actually in terms of the playoffs. This season there is a realistic scenario, if you look at the way the table is playing out, that we could have the lowest ever points tally for a 6th place team since the championship rebrand. The current lowest, I believe, is Leicester in 2013, got 68. Was that the infamous knockout, Deeney?
Has to be, doesn't it?
It's got to be, isn't it, that year? They got 68. Currently Coventry on 66. Middlesbrough, who they play, 64. So if Coventry don't win, they go up to 67. Coventry 67. Millwall maybe get something to Burnley. That's a 67 again. Blackburn against Sheffield United. Talk about both of those games shortly because I'm quite keen to. They could end up with nothing. So there is a situation actually where the team who finishes 6th return the lowest points tally since the championship rebrand in, what was it, 2004. On that note, 97 points at the top end for Burnley, who are playing, is it Millwall?
Yes.
97 points with current goal difference would win you the title in 15 of the last 20 seasons as well. So, I mean, Burnley, if they get 100 points as well, incredibly unfortunate. And it's vice versa for Leeds. If they don't get it, 15 of 20 would win you the title, and not to do so.
100 points to finish second is a pretty. It's a poor indictment on the league as a whole, really.
They should get a better trophy than that daft promotion one that second place teams get.
Is it a shield?
No, I don't know. You get something, don't you?
It's only recent though. It's very woke.
It's bad, isn't it?
It's very bad.
Apparently, the Championship have never had 2 teams on 100 points either. So that could be quite big for the situation that we're on.
Circling back,
sidetracked.
Putting a pin in it.
Let's hear the other ones.
You want to go? You want to go?
So many to go for. I mean, I mentioned them there, but again,
Burnley
4-6 to beat Millwall. I know Millwall have beaten them at the Den, but in my head, Millwall beat everyone at the Den. I don't care what the stats say. In my head, they always win at the Den. Burnley 4-6. Again, it's just another case of the table largely doesn't lie. They're on 97 points. They could get 100 points. They still have, cliched, something to play for. And
did you see that clip of them at QPR last week?
Yeah.
QPR on the counter attack and literally all 11
swarming.
or 10 swarming. It's incredible.
You could just see like it was And again, it's shown the case for both. And then Leeds, who won 4-0 on Monday, that the pressure's off. And it's like, there's no real... Obviously, the title's there, but as nice as it is to win the title and get some silverware, I don't think people who don't support the clubs who win it largely remember who wins the title. You just kind of remember who goes up that year. So it's a personal aim for them, but I think
It's true.
the pressure really is off. And I think we saw that at QPR, that there is no jeopardy really to it now. There's no team breathing down their neck, and it's for them as well. They're the outsiders in the situation, which all we can do is win in front of our own supporters. There's an additional initiative there for the title as well. It's just 4-6. They've shown how good they are all season. And on similar pattern, actually, I'm going to use my line, just because a team needs to win does not mean that they will win, which takes me to Bramall Lane. Sheffield United are 13-10 to beat Blackburn, who are somehow, and you talk about the league being bad, have we allowed this to happen? Why are Blackburn back in the playoff race? Again, probably because of the low points tally of the team in 6th. Sheffield United are 13-10 to win. I mean,
They were 2-1 at Stoke last week, weren't they?
they were 2-1 at Stoke, and it's watching them play against Stoke. They played very, very well again in patches. They created a lot, and it's the reaction afterwards as well. The away end, it's the last kind of... Obviously, they'll have another away game in the playoffs, but it's the last away game of the regular season. The fan reaction, it was like the negativity, the doom and gloom that comes with missing out on automatics wasn't there. Wilder's reaction as well, and his tone since that Burnley game has been more relaxed, has been more kind of...
He's not squaring up to anybody.
No, it's more the pressure. Again, the pressure's off a little bit. We know our fate. Best thing that probably could have happened to them was it getting sorted with 2 games to go, so they have a couple of games to sort it out. They've turned up to Stoke, who, cliched, had something to play for away, and beaten them relatively well in terms of how that game went. Burnley and Sheffield United for an early double is 2.8 to 1, 2.84 to 1. So just shy of threes on 2 of the best teams in the division getting one final home game, final home win before the regular season is out, which I just think both of those games, I'm all over.
What do you think, Jim Rob?
Yeah, I don't mind it. It's just Blackburn's uptick recently, which makes me a bit... Ugh. And the clash of styles at Turf Moor, although Burnley are unbelievable. But just because they need to win doesn't mean they have to.
Yeah.
West Brom, 21-10 at home to Luton.
Not
Is that too much of an overreaction?
Can we get involved in West Brom?
No.
At all? Yeah, surely. That is...
5 defeats in the last 7, 1 win in 9. Team devoid of confidence, sandals on. They've got the bucket in spades. They obviously got a manager. Well, there are reports that Marty Cifuentes
is not going to get the job, apparently.
Not getting it now.
That's a turn. They went... Cifuentes, we believe, is in talks with another championship club. We believe that club to be West Brom. 2 days later, they're gone, he's not getting the West Brom job. Sorry about that, everyone.
So, yeah, they've got nothing to play for, which is...
All right,
Why are you getting that big price, isn't it?
just because they need to win doesn't mean they will. Hull 5-4 at Portsmouth. No. What about Portsmouth 11-5?
I was going to say, I'd actually have a bit of Portsmouth.
I've got Portsmouth down here as well.
Yeah, I think that is insanity.
They're my favourite one of the teams that to kind of upset the apple cart and do a dirty to the opposite team.
Well, there's a few
could send them
things
down,
here.
can't
Yeah, they could send them down. Obviously, the home form. It is their first season. It's been such a long season. It feels like it's a couple of seasons ago that they came up, but this is the first season back in the Championship.
Yeah.
In a lot of trouble up until fairly recently, last 3-4 months where they pulled away. Final home game, go out on a high, and I just think too much has been put into Hull needing to win because their record, even since Sellers took charge against the teams, bottom quarter of the division is rotten. They really struggle. I just thought that might be
nice, isn't it? I mean, the other games as well, I think it's worth, because, again, for clarity, I think we'll put together a little 12:30 Acca and rather than have the normal Acca and the longer Acca, we'll just replace it. We'll put a 12:30 one up. We'll get a 3 p.m. one up as well. We've mentioned Swansea, we mentioned Burnley, we mentioned Sheffield United, we just mentioned Portsmouth as well. Well, you mentioned West Brom. Yeah.
Good. Derby?
The other teams I did have, Derby to beat Stoke.
draw suits all parties there realistically, does it not?
Jack, are you suggesting that we get to a point where they're passing it around in the 85th minute and everyone's
so.
going, way, way?
There is a scenario that Derby and Stoke are drawing, Preston, Luton, and Hull all win, and then Derby go down.
I mean, if
Only a win guaranteed.
if Hull are winning, the Acca's screwed anyway, so who cares?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's double jeopardy.
Point.
Sunderland QPR, sorry, was the other one as well. Sunderland to beat QPR. Because we talk about Cifuentes, he's on gardening leave now. Talk about a team who, Jesus Christ, want the final whistle to come. Sunderland, let's go as strong as possible to get some momentum for the playoffs. Didn't quite work at Oxford, but now back at the Stadium of Light, I think, come on, like, put your best team out there again.
It's a massive game for them.
And it is. Let's 8-13 they are. Let's just win the game, get into and actually have a win on the board going into the playoffs, so we're not falling into them, because they have had. It's been a bizarre season. They've had nothing to play for quite a while now, and it has just been squad management, hasn't it? And up until last weekend, where it did backfire slightly.
Yes.
But yeah, for me, I just think it's got to be a win, hasn't it?
What about Bristol City?
I have Bristol City to beat Preston.
It's Preston.
I don't like it.
Too much on the line.
I think
Don't
so,
forget,
yeah.
Bristol City need to get a result.
I know, but
Just because they need.
doesn't mean they're going to. Yeah.
But both teams need to get a result.
Their performance on Monday against Leeds was shocking.
Against one of the best championship teams
That's
ever.
my,
I get
that's my
that.
only reservations about.
But they were
judging
so
teams on-
poor.
I don't think they were. I just don't think Leeds get enough credit.
The atmosphere as well was very much like it was party time on Monday. I think and it was like, I think for an away team going there against, like you say, one just a really strong team who have no pressure whatsoever, and the expectation was that it'd be a comfortable home win. You kind of just almost have to play the part a little bit, don't you? And just go, let's just get the 90 minutes done and get out of here, sort of thing, and rebuild.
Did Bristol end up having a shot on target? I don't.
They did in the 93rd minute, straight down the throat of Carl Darlow, who got
Melia
down.
would have spilled it.
Oh yeah,
Just covered it up, and it did get a little sarcastic cheer from him.
smothered it.
The only reason I'm slightly hesitant is that if you look at Bristol City's recent results at home, they have won 5 of 6, but all 5 have come by a single goal margin.
I'll do, mate. As long as I get
If you
do it
look
again.
at Preston away from home, their defeats are all coming by a single goal margin, so there's not a lot in the games, home or away, for Bristol City or Preston. So I see this as 2 teams that the result could go either way. It could be a 1-0 win to Preston, it could be a 1-0 win to Bristol City, vice versa. So I think 4-5 is a little bit too short.
Brilliant thing is, if we do settle on including Portsmouth in an early Acca, we only really need 2 others because of their big price. So you could do a little treble at 10s-ish.
So what about Sheffield United and Burnley then?
I was going to say, Jim, amazingly, on this bet slip in front of me, I've put Burnley, Sheffield United and Portsmouth. The best price is just shy of 11s on that little 12.30 treble.
Like that.
The only one I'm wary of, actually, I'm wary of both Blades and Burnley, to be honest.
Yeah.
Table doesn't lie. That's what I'm going for.
I
The table
know,
doesn't lie.
but Millwall are the kind of team that
Despite what Jonathan Woodgate said that time.
so defensively compact. I could see that being a 0-0.
What about Sunderland to beat QPR instead?
I don't want to.
Oh my God.
No, that's
This isn't the main Acca. This is just your starter.
Yeah.
This is just your starter, you know. This is your little
Get your eye in.
bread for the table.
This is your couvert. Is that what they call it in Europe? When you get the bread, you get the olives, butter, couvert.
We're not going to
Seen
the
that
same
on the
restaurants, mate.
I don't know any European bears, mate. We're building a championship backer.
Couvert with the V.
Burnley, Sheffield United and Portsmouth. I'm saying it's shy of 11s. And
I
actually get on with the main
I
Acca.
do like it. It's easy to get lost in the permutations, but 2.3 about the side that would have probably gone up second most normal seasons, maybe, yeah. And Burnley, again, I'm with Jake. Like, it's a bit uncomfortable, but it's not the main Acca, and it's silly prices.
This is just the starter. This is
It's just the European
charcuterie
bear.
board that comes out. You know, this is all that is. Actually, you want permutation Sheffield United as well. How many times has Wilder banged on about 90 points and breaking their championship record? Banging on and on and on and on and on about it. He desperately wants to do that.
In that
So,
case, we'll get it in.
should we take that as the 12:30 and get on to the 3 p.m.s?
The only other game we've not really touched
go on then.
You talked about West Brom, but the team that they're playing, Luton, like they've literally come back from the dead. Like, they were written off bottom of the table 5-6 game ago. Fair play to the gaffer. He's got a really good.
I always said weeks ago that a few weeks ago, not that long ago, that it looked like time had run out. They've just left it a little bit too late, and how wrong we were based on this turnaround.
Phenomenal. Six wins in the last 11. Look really good. 3 wins in an unbeaten last 4 away games as well, all against teams in and around them. So they've all been competitive games against teams that, with like high stakes, high pressure, they've come through that. And now they get to go to West Brom, who've just been shit for 2 months.
Yeah. But the thing is with this game again,
The prices, you can't back them.
I want to get Build in the main.
Just saying.
I
Come
do.
on.
But I just want to say this because again, there's a world where Bristol City are probably 2-3 goals still good at Preston. There is though, and all right. Yeah,
Portsmouth are beating Hull.
yeah. So yeah. If one of the teams above them, like Preston, are losing comfortably, a point does Luton, done it,
Yeah.
and everyone knows.
Yourself
The
that.
bench all knows, and you know what I mean. It's just a bit of a messy place to get
Fine,
involved.
fine.
Man with his portable radio in the stand. Just, it's a shame that actually we won't get any drama like of miscommunicated scorelines anymore, will we? Just not a thing now with the modern technology world.
Although, in football stadiums, you don't get a very good phone signal, do you?
No idea. I had no idea how the other week when I was at Leeds Preston how anyone knew that Sheffield United had gone 2-1 down. How the fuck they found this out? Yeah.
Do they have TVs in the concourse?
I've just got my loading screen on the score app. So what's going on here? Right, should we take that treble and get on to the 3PMers?
Lock it up.
On then a bonus 12:30 Acca then for the early championship games. We're taking Burnley to beat Millwall, Sheffield United to beat Blackburn, and Portsmouth to get the better of Hull. As we said there, those 3 teams just shy of 11-1. On to the 3 p.m. games then. We've already said we'll ignore the Premier League because who cares about that? League 1 and League 2. Fascinating, particularly in League 2, how this is going to play out. Take us away. Where do we want to go?
So we do a quick run through League One.
Go on then. Okay, do you want to start?
Well, relegation's done. Automatic promotion's done. It's really about the battle for 6th spot, isn't
It is indeed. It's a straight shootout between Leyton Orient and Reading. Leyton Orient have the advantage on goal difference. Do we want to talk about those teams? Because Leyton Orient are 10-11 to beat Huddersfield side, who, how do we diplomatically put this, have fucked it.
Royally.
Leyton Orient very good when they beat Wickham last week. Any Leyton Orient fans, I've not noticed, and I don't know how I've not noticed this before, because it was on one of the corners, but there's like a bench that people sit on there, like a dugout bench, and it's just on the corner, and there's just fans sat there.
VIP seats or something.
But I don't know.
Pitch side.
What the hell
Is it
is
like in America where they have the hot tubs at the side? Is it similar to that but without the hot tub?
Yeah, it's just a bench. They're just sat there. Like any corner, they're like, there they are again. What the hell? They're really close to the pitch as well. But Leyton Orient 10-11 to beat Huddersfield side, who, Jesus Christ, I think that they will be looking forward to this game, and I'm sure their fans will be looking forward to this game, in that there will be a full-time whistle to this game, and they don't have to worry about Huddersfield Town again for another few months, because their season really has tailed off.
Mate, it's collapsed.
Yeah.
Utterly collapsed. The last 15 games, they've lost 11 times, and they picked up the 4th fewest points in the entire division.
Unbelievable.
They've gone from being in the top 6 to playing like a relegation team. Quite clearly down tools. I'm all over this. Orient winning in. Massive carrot dangle in front of them. They're in great form. Won 5 straight, 7 of the last 9 away from home. 4 wins in the last 5. Only defeat came against Burton, who were resurgent.
Kicked back into life.
Unbelievable. So yeah, I quite like this at the price. I think this is a team in the ascendancy against a team that just don't give a shit.
Jimmy?
Yeah, you both made a strong case for it. I was a little bit
On the price again, aren't you? Like,
yeah, just odds on Leyton Orient.
I thought it'd be shorter, to be fair.
Really?
You genuinely.
Thought it'd be shorter, really.
Look at the prices around this weekend and the overreaction to circumstances and permutations. And then you're saying that, I mean, you look at some of the, you've got teams who need to win to stay up are like short prices to win. Like Hull away at Portsmouth for 5-4, despite the fact they've been poor all season, and Portsmouth, as we discussed, are just good and have turned things around. But that's, I mean, that's the general pricing of this weekend.
And Orient are actually good, and Huddersfield are
So I thought, that's what I mean. You're getting our team who are in the playoffs, but high on confidence, in good form, have to win to then secure their playoff spot, going to a team who are just on a ridiculous losing kind of run and have really just stumbled towards the end of the season. That's what I said. I thought it would actually be shorter than 10-11 when you think of the general pricing of the card.
You guys are really enthusiastic. But may I interest
Thank you.
in Reading, 7-10 at home
Ding.
to Barnsley. Sold out Medeski.
King versus the team.
Yeah.
Chance of top 6. Noel Hunt. He's good. Wing, he's good. Who's the guy? Nibs. He's good.
Harvey Nibs, keep going, yeah.
What a player.
Yeah, another one that I potentially had down. It was the Barnsley angle, which I was hoping that you'd give us some insight on, but then you brought it to the table.
I don't know what's going on with Barnsley.
Well, having declared last week, we should just take Barnsley to beat Shrewsbury, because if Barnsley can score, they'll score 2. Shrewsbury ain't scoring 2. Shrewsbury won 2-1. So well done.
Swerve by us.
Yeah.
I like this. The prices, it's just worth mentioning as well, some of these prices are already moving for the teams that need to win. So Reading were 3-4 into 7-10. They're only going to get shorter. Orient were evens into 10-11. I think they're going to go off shorter. It's not rocket science, is it? Barnsley have checked out, lost 7 of the last 10 away games as well. They were so good away from home for so long, but that's seemingly fallen off a cliff. Reading are a strong home team that need to win, and need to win by a wide margin as well. Because there's every chance Orient beat Huddersfield. They might need a 6-0 win, which we've seen Barnsley concede. Was it 6 at Birmingham or 5 at Birmingham?
10 man. 10 there. Come on.
Dive it.
10 man.
Get any lad on the yellow card, run at him.
You just never know. Never know in this game. Barnsley might really not like Leyton Orient. Might want to fuck them.
I was about to say this. If
You need an 8-goal swing, Reading.
8-0 win it is. There's your 8-0 for the column.
Oh.
If you're an opposition player with nothing to play for and you're going to play at a place like this, are you more up for it just to be a bit of a dickhead?
Do you think any...
Just go, well, if we can't be happy, they can't be happy. I'm not having this.
Or
Sick of it.
maybe Richie Wellens has done something to piss off the Barnsley players. Maybe there's a few lads in there who hate Richie Wellens. I don't know.
Maybe.
So, lads, we hate Wellens.
Yeah.
You can just
Own goals.
You suggested to spend your entire pre-match press conference talking nothing on Huddersfield, Leyton Orient. You just go slag Barnsley off the entire half hour, saying that they're the worst team I've ever seen. They're a disgrace. And they're just going, what's going on us? What the hell's going on here? And then they get really angry, and then only afterwards they go,
And I know it's not exactly, it's not too comparable, but only a few years ago, Bristol Rovers needed to win by 7 to go up, and they beat Scunthorpe 7-0. So these kind of things can happen in the EFL. I know Scunthorpe went down; they were down in the bottom.
Well, have you seen Northampton on Twitter? Did the whole see when Bristol Rovers got relegated as a legacy thing from that.
Brilliant.
Northampton, I believe, weren't happy at the team selection of Bristol Rovers' opponents in that 7-0 game because they were the one that it cost and promotion.
Bear it in mind for this.
All the years later,
between Orient and Barnsley,
everyone in the replies go, "No, what the fuck was all this about?" They've just done, following results elsewhere. They've drawn 1 game in the last 10 or something. They've lost 9. So technically following results elsewhere, but it was your own doing. We've been relegated to Sky Bet League 2, and then Northampton just quoted going, "See ya, unlucky."
You like that?
Relegated.
I love the pettiness.
I think it's a bit classless.
It's a bit classless. I think
It's affecting
I like
humans.
rivalries.
But it's affecting real life humans at Bristol Rovers.
there's got to be a point you've got to move on.
Yeah.
If it was like last season, and I'd go, all right, okay, I can kind of get it. We've been screwed over.
Let you off with that
Yeah, fine. But yeah, it does happen. And I wonder what Joey Barnes up to these days, the old Bristol Rovers
Yeah,
manager.
he was the gaffer, wasn't
Did he get involved?
Well, wonder what he's up to. So we talked about Reading, we spoke about Leyton Orient.
Yeah.
Charlton to beat Burton was another game I thought about, particularly with Burton safe. This price has shortened. I did look on Tuesday where Charlton was 17-20. Stupidly, did they assume that Burton would have something to play for? Goal difference. It ain't happening, all right? That they ain't going to go down. Charlton, I mean, ultimately, they are still playing for seeding. If they can get a positive result here, it is actually quite big to finish 4th instead of 5th because then you get the second leg at home, which is a significant advantage. And it's the nature of that defeat at Wrexham as well, the disappointment of that, the kind of the need to bounce back is there with Charlton. So I think, again, a kind of home game as good as Burton had been, there's still been defeats in there. And Charlton just fantastic at home all season.
Yeah.
So they'd be one that jumps out in that League One card.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, right? Because assuming Charlton win, odds on to do, they'll go to 85 points. They'd need to win by 6 goals and need Stockport to draw at Wickham, and then they could even finish 3rd. I think Wickham and Stockport will both want to avoid playing Charlton, so it puts importance on that game because them two are playing each other. But I think it's extremely realistic for Stockport to draw at Wickham, Charlton to win, and then Charlton play Wycombe's second leg at home in the playoffs. So I think there's enough motivation to get Charlton on side. 100%.
I mean, I would have Stockport to beat Wycombe.
I would as well.
At that price.
Yeah, it's massive.
I'm not convinced on Dodds still.
No,
It's been a
well,
while, and you look at the nature of those defeats. The teams who have they lost to, they're all teams in that top 6, aren't they?
Duffman, may I interest you? Since Mike Dodds took charge at Adams Park, 25 points from 16 games. Meh, about 8th.
Yeah.
Crucially, against the top 7, and I've done the top 7 because they're cut adrift from. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're cut adrift from the
They're
rest
the
of
ones
league.
who, yeah.
Played 5 times, not scored a goal, lost 8-0 on aggregate.
Shit.
That's honking. The worst one was the Charlton 4-0, and everyone at Wycombe was furious with the team selection because he changed his system and was like reactive to what he expected Charlton to do. Charlton just rolled them over. I don't think he's equipped enough to do it. He stopped scoring.
At Orient,
I think.
It was such a dull game that they didn't. Nothing really happened, to be honest. And then the outcome was ultimately fair on them losing that one. But again, that's another one that they've lost, and it's the fact that it's recent as well. These games. It's not like we're talking when back in February and now he's sorted out and stuff like that. These have been games over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah,
13-5 of the price on Stockport there.
But Stockport, on the other hand, are absolutely flying. I think they've won 5 of the last 6. They've only lost twice since they were knocked out of the FA Cup against Palace in mid-January. Won the majority of those games since. They are an impressive run. I know they come from behind the last 2, which, depending on which way you look at it, could be either good or bad, could it, really? Shouldn't be going behind.
It's the firepower off the bench, though, because the subs are coming on and doing a job for him.
But the main thing about that price was Stockport recently lost. Did they lose at Wrexham? Did they get a result at Wrexham? I can't remember. That might have been one of their defeats. I can't remember.
Have a quick look while you're chatting away.
But Stockport were 5-2 to win that game, and as the table shows, Wrexham have proved to be a much better side than Wycombe over the course of the season, and they're not even in the same conversation.
Lost 1-0 at Wrexham on the 22nd of March.
Yeah, shorter price at
Since
Wrexham.
then, though, it's been 6 wins and a draw.
Yeah, they're actually drifted since I did my notes yesterday. They're up to 13-5 now, but why they shouldn't even be the same prices when they went up at Wrexham.
Because we had Wrexham to beat Wycombe at Wycombe in the Acca a couple of weeks ago, and they won 1-0, and they were 3-1.
League Two. I said, do you want to kind of clump these together?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot in the air.
So for clarity, the ones who
3
put
PM.
up in League One, then the fancies: Stockport to beat Wycombe at that big price we said there, Charlton to beat Burton, Leyton Orient to beat Huddersfield, and Reading to beat Barnsley. I would also mention Birmingham.
Yeah.
Cambridge 8-13.
Yeah.
I mean, fair play to them. Like,
Listen.
people on TikTok say we hate them, right? But 108 points, the most points in a single EFL season. They've still got a game to go. 111 the potential. Absolutely remarkable.
Did they play last night?
Yeah, one.
That's what's done
Yeah, they won last
Should have
night.
let him go first.
Yeah.
Oh, they could break the record.
Yeah, they've
They already broke the record, didn't
quite absolutely remarkable. 108 points on for 111. I mean, well equipped for the championship as well, not just from the
Well done,
side,
Gab, as
but-
well, because Gab sat here and said that they're going to piss the league right at the very start of the season.
Couldn't believe it. 5-2.
I think someone over
How
here
does he pick
said
them up?
Rotherham were going to win
How
the
does he
league.
pick them up?
Yeah, that aged brilliantly.
Fine wine.
I just hated the fact that they were so odds on. I was desperate for to get
Oh,
somebody else.
it's an English-British thing to do, and if anyone's back for success, we want them chinned.
Exactly.
No matter what. I know. Nothing against them personally. Could be anyone in the world who go, fucking hope they lose.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's only League Two, really, that the pre-season favourites are nowhere near the picture.
MK Dons,
Yeah.
woo, what a season they had. And I know they screwed mine, they screwed a lot of people. I've spoken to people, a lot of people, as you would, fancied MK Dons under Williamson to bounce back from that playoff disappointment. So as I said, the Stockport, Charlton, Leyton Orient, Reading, Birmingham, the League One fancies will build the actual final Acca just after discussing the League Two games, which again are all at 3 p.m, as we said. So many permutations. It's so good. Doncaster, Port Vale, congratulations to them, are already promoted. Finally, someone went, maybe we should take this opportunity and actually get fucking promoted here. Playoffs are still to be decided, but there is a huge game. Grimsby play Wimbledon, both for 7-4. If Grimsby win that, they leapfrog Wimbledon, potentially knock Wimbledon out of the playoffs, depending how Salford do it, and now relegated Carlisle. Bradford, Jesus Christ, take an opportunity, lads. Why don't you? They are
That'll win.
1-2 to beat Fleetwood. Sellout crowd at Valley
Sellout.
Parade. I believe did I read it's going to be their league record attendance, which is massive for them. So hopefully they actually do take that opportunity and get promoted.
If they lose, then Notts County or Walsall can go up automatically.
Oh, well, that's, I mean, to be honest.
Maybe not Walsall.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if after all this time they just rope-a-dope
Yeah, just
and actually sneak up
just win
on the last day?
What are you worried about? We've done it. So much to play for. Genuinely so excited for this. As League Two has been, and we've said it time and time, it is the best league going, particularly this season.
It's the best league for a spectator, but for betting purposes.
Oh yeah, my Grimsby mates absolutely hating it at the moment. This is hell. But where do we want to go here? I mean, there's a few that jump out.
Nowhere. I didn't have anyone for this game.
Failed to beat Gillingham 4-6.
Well, the thing is with Gillingham,
Gillingham.
Your manager.
Gildingers.
Another club, by the way, that I believe have got to sell out, Port Vale. They've had to get safety certificates and stuff to open a part of the stadium they couldn't before or something to get people in. So fantastic to see the amount of people that are engaging with clubs. I know it's easy to when you're successful, but still, they're doing it. A big crowd expecting a title, 4-6 Port Vale.
Is it Ainsworth now at Gillingham? He left
Shooting in 11.
a lot of draws. But someone got in touch on
That Shrewsbury, and then look what happened. They collapsed again.
he did it.
He did. They went on a good bit of hop. I thought they'd stay up, idiot.
Idiot. Whoops. Someone got in touch a few weeks ago on the YouTube comments saying the feel-good factor around Gillingham since Ainsworth come in is top of the notch. Top of the notch.
They're not.
Has he had to move house? Presumably not.
I don't know what
He
his
did move, did he?
living situation
In
is.
Wickham's near Gillingham. Don't really know the map. Just down there, isn't it?
I could see a world where Bradford, Walsall and County all lose.
It's objectively the funniest outcome.
It's hilarious.
That would sum up League Two perfectly.
I think it's the end.
Defeat.
That everyone loses and it just stays as it is.
Yeah, it's the end that the league deserves, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's the treble?
I was just calculating, but I don't know.
11-2, 3-1, and we're not County playing.
Well, actually, that's a good point because Donny is 7-4 in pursuit of a title. Notts County, their fans haven't been happy for a while at how they're playing. Are they going to limp into the playoffs? Donny's record against the best teams in the division was bad, but they won the last 3 on the spin. 2 massive wins over the Easter weekend. Street, unbelievable. Did they get him in January? He's on 10 goals now, or he's in double figures.
I think so, yeah.
Luke Molyneux, just when you think he couldn't get any better,
He is better.
he's getting better. So potentially Donny, but I just looked at League Two and went, nope.
You're going to have that 70-1 treble, aren't you?
The one I did eye up, and again I'm back to my mantra. Just because they need to win means that they don't necessarily mean that they will. Barrow to beat Colchester is my upset of the weekend.
Barrow are brilliant.
Barrow, since Andy Wing came in, you mentioned it the other week, didn't you? Their form and kind of their upturn. Colchester opposed them last week against Salford because of availability issues and the significance of those availability issues that they have. Lyle Taylor, top scorer, he's out for the season. A few others as well. I think Jamie McDonnell, brilliant midfielder on loan from Forest. His season is done. Harry Anderson, winger, out. It just feels like it's really happened at such a bad time for them that it has then ultimately damaged their playoff potential. And then even if they get in, what is the knock-on effects of that? Barrow, 6-game unbeaten run. They've lost just 1 of their last 12. They have drawn a lot, but it's a significant improvement since Andy Wing arrived in January, was it? It's just a price thing for me. And is there also a point as well where Colchester get desperate if Salford are drawing, if Grimsby are drawing, or so is there is there a desperation that comes in? And I should have looked this up, but I do wonder how many teams get chinned in the final 5 minutes of games when they have to win because they're so desperately pushing forward and they've got 4 strikers on the pitch and 1 centre-back and all it takes is a fast break of 3-on-1 and suddenly the opposition have taken it and won because it feels like watching games in recent years this has happened. It does feel like, that...
Yeah, I don't mind
that sort of thing that does happen, and I don't know why I could just the circumstances aren't in Colchester's favour, but there could be a point in the game where they are, and particularly late on, they get desperation kicks in a little bit, and against a team who have been good at like 4-1-ish, I was going to have a little go, and I have in my column, but to have a go on Barrow.
I like it. It makes a lot of sense, but maybe it's not one for the Acca.
Why isn't it one for the Acca? Why don't we just go for all the big price teams? Why don't we just do Stockport, Barrow,
Are we having Bradford? We're not having
Fleetwood against Bradford? Just have a great time.
We could ask them to price that up. Just do all the Crew to beat whoever they're playing. Walsall, Doncaster to beat Notts County, Fleetwood to beat Bradford, and just go for the League Two's been unpredictable.
I think the potential Acca
all season long
way that we've spoken about, and
it's just League One, isn't it?
Well, we've done well to avoid League Two largely because, as it's shown, it's a hell of a league and it's phenomenal to watch, but it's terrible for betting almost, isn't it? But you could potentially do an Acca of Stockport because of a price. We could put Charlton to beat Burton because we fancied them. Leyton Orient at Huddersfield, and Reading at Barnsley, and you'd get above 16-1 on those 4 teams.
Is that without Birmingham?
Birmingham take it to 27s.
27s. Just look at his face.
And then what about Barrow as well?
If we had Barrow in,
What about if we pop Barrow in?
30-1. But if we wanted to have, the final Acca of the season being the 5-fold of those 5 teams who have been good all campaign, just shy of 28s, 26s were most places for those 5. And then obviously plus our championship Acca that we did a little earlier.
I know it's a terrible way to think, but it's the way I operate. So 2 points on the line. We've already guaranteed more points profit than last season. Correct.
On 46 last season, we're on 48.5.
Yeah, we're guaranteed then.
So, yeah. Why don't we just do the 130? Let's have a great time.
I think let our hair down, do the 5 teams.
Should we take those 5 in League One?
While you just think about it,
What about combining the 2 Accas?
what about if we chuck in Barrow? No. Who? Just think about it for 1 second.
What are you trying to say? You told me 3 times to think about it. I don't know what I'm thinking about.
Just give yourself a minute to think about it, because I don't want you to leave the studio and be like, we shouldn't have done that. I know you don't care. As soon as we leave, as soon as you get up off that chair, it's on to.
I've never watched this back. never. I can't even remember a thing we say on these things.
Just interested to know.
I like the 5 because I had all 5 down. So ultimately, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, me too.
Me 3.
Should we take it? There we go then. This week's Acca, then, the proper Acca, shall we call it? In fact, no, like any good restaurant, you get your starters on the menu first, don't you? So let's do the starter one from the Championship at 12:30.
European Bear.
European Bear, apparently.
I'm the only one that knows what that is.
You're going to have to find out what the hell this is after.
I'm going to Google it right now.
Google it while I'm summing up for us then. The Championship Acca that we're taking at 12:30. We've got Burnley to beat Millwall, was it? We've got Sheffield United to beat Blackburn. And then we have Portsmouth to beat Hull. And then at 3 p.m, the main Acca, the normal 3 p.m. Stockport to beat Wickham. It's Charlton to beat Burton. Leyton Orient to beat Huddersfield. Reading to beat Barnsley. And Birmingham to beat Cambridge. That 5-fold, just shy of 28-1. And as we say every single week, remember to keep it fun, never bet more you can afford, and please gamble responsibly. The playoffs are coming, of course, aren't they? We will have an episode looking forward to all things playoffs. I believe we're recording that on Tuesday after the bank holiday, so that might be out a little bit earlier. So make sure that you check the channel, and the only way to do that is to subscribe to ensure that you never miss an episode. And on the website, sportinglife.com/football. Midday on Friday, you'll be able to find the link to back those 2 Accas at hopefully a nice little enhanced price. Yeah, we'll be back for a playoff preview, hopefully on the back of 2 nice winners. Wait to see how the regular season now.
Don't forget, if you want to put them together, get an 8-fold.
Have a great time.
Yeah.
That's what a way to go out of a bang. 0 from 8. We'll be back on Tuesday.